Hello, dear ones of St. Peter's. This video comes to you to share the news of my resignation and my call to a new congregation. This comes with a letter from me and from Governance Council. I wanted to include this video to offer something a little more personal and a message from me to you. And so I'm going to start at the very beginning and just share some of how this process happened and how we have arrived at today. So for me, this process of discernment started during Lori's sabbatical, when I learned and felt what it was like to lead solo, to lead in a different way. And what I found was enjoyment. What I found was new challenges. And what I found was the Spirit actively at work within me during that time. And I didn't know what all of that meant then. I contacted friends and colleagues and shared my wonderings and my feelings, and they helped me discern and understand that the Spirit was saying maybe the next phase of ministry is now. And so I began to pray and listen, and what I found was I felt ready for this next phase of my life and my ministry. And so much of that is in direct thanks to all of you. You have shaped me and formed me and allowed me to grow into the pastor I am today. We wouldn't be here otherwise. And so while this message comes with a lot of emotions, it comes mostly from a place of gratitude from me. So it was in that place of gratitude, of wondering, of willing to see where the Spirit was leading, that I began the actual process of search and call. I put my profile together and references together and submitted my profile to the conference. And then that was all at the beginning of this year. And then COVID happened and the world stopped, including search and call. And after a few weeks, once we figured out how to adjust and adapt and adopt a new normal, search and call began to move forward again. And so I started the process of interviewing with churches and having those conversations. And alongside that process was another conversation of whether or not sabbatical would happen. And once it became clear that it would, I decided to pause my search process during that time. I wanted sabbatical to be a restful and rejuvenating time. And I made one exception to that decision. Early on, I had met with First Parish Church United in Westford, Massachusetts. And from the beginning, I had felt a connection with them. And so I decided I would continue the conversation with only them and see where it led. And if it led nowhere, I would simply resume my search in September. And what we have found is that conversation continued and deepened, and it became clear to both of us that we were being called to one another, which has led us to today. There's another significant piece to my discernment, which is I didn't do a nationwide search. I only sent my profile to 3 states, Maine, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. I knew that if I left St. Peter's at whatever point that was, it would be to go back east to be closer to family. I didn't always know when or how or if that would all happen, but that became even more clear this year with COVID, and in particular with the death of John, my dad's best friend, and with my grandmother. Not being home, not being able to even just be in closer proximity to my family has been incredibly hard this year, as it has for so many of us. And that clarity helped make this decision for me and with me that now was the time and this was the place. So that's sort of in a nutshell how we have gotten to today. I want to share just a little bit more about Westford, about the congregation and how the call seemed to fit for both of us. So I will share that part of what I love about them is a lot of what I love about you. They are a quirky and loving and lovable congregation. They are a progressively theological congregation. They are an open and affirming congregation. They too are committed to social justice and spirituality. And uniquely, they are a dual affiliated congregation. So they are both affiliated with the United Church of Christ, which is us, and the Unitarian Universalist Association. And for me, as someone who studied and has loved many different religions and beliefs and perspectives, that is something in particular that I am excited about. I'm excited to be challenged and explore new dimensions of faith and congregational life in that way. Not everyone has the same internal map of New England as I do, and so I want to share, just to be a little helpful, if I can figure out technology. Let's see. All right, possibly technology. We'll see. All right. So, let's see if I can make this come closer. So, this little blue dot is where Westford is. It's about an hour and a half-ish north of Boston. It's right near Maine and New Hampshire. Here's another image that might be helpful. So, let's see. That red star there is Westford. And then you'll see Portland right up there. And that's just about where my family is located, actually. If you look even closer, I have no idea how this will show up, sorry. Oops, well, it went somewhere. Portland is where my family is the important part there. And so I will be within 2 hours of not just my immediate family, but my whole extended family as well. And that is a huge source of joy and excitement for me personally. And so I'm deeply looking forward to being near them. The main thing that I want to make clear is how grateful I am, which I named earlier. But it cannot be overstated what a gift, Nana agrees, what a gift these last 5+ years have been, what a gift of a congregation you are to your pastors. It is not common for young pastors, new pastors especially, to not just stay in ministry, but fall in love even more deeply with it. You have allowed me to do that. You have allowed me to explore my own call to ministry, my pastoral identity. You've allowed me to love you in ways I didn't know was possible. And I'm forever changed by that and forever grateful for that. So don't underestimate, don't take for granted the gift that you are as a congregation, the work that you do, not just in being a congregation and answering God's call to be whoever God is calling you to be, but how you shape and support your pastors. I am so grateful, and I'm here today because of it. So thank you, St. Peter's United Church of Christ in Carmel, Indiana, for loving me into who I am today, for allowing me to grow and experiment and be creative and share my endless love of Harry Potter with you. You have been a blessing to me, and God will continue to be a blessing to each of you. Thank you.